But let's get on to the next signing, which is Rodrigo Bentancur, obviously on Juventus as well. We have got the Here We Go from Fabrizio Romano as of literally 20 minutes ago now, and it says Rodrigo Bentancur from Juventus to Tottenham, done deal, and here we go. Agreement completed for 19 million euros plus 6 million euros in add-ons. He's joining Spurs together with Dejan Kulusevski, and that is a deal from Dennis Zakaria to Juventus has enabled this move to happen. Bentancur is not a player that I know too much about. I've done a lot of research on him last night, done a lot of reading about him. And it has got me slightly excited, but it does seem that he's very similar into the winks and to the mold of what we already have.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've been saying how much I want a creative player. I want someone like a Neves or Jorginho in the centre of the park, because I think that's what we're lacking as a central midfielder, and I think we need more passing ability than just purely someone who's more defensive. And I think Bentancur, as much as he's not that, his attributes definitely lie on his ability off the ball rather than on the ball. He does have decent ability on the ball. He's got a fairly decent passing range. He's obviously very, very good at pressing and very good at got strong in the tackle. He's got good stamina and all these kind of things. So I think we've got a very solid, dependable player coming through the door, which I'm happy about. And I think there has to be it's hard for me because obviously I wanted a creative player. So it's hard for me not to criticise, we're getting another defensive player. But I think it's been now very evident, right, what we're looking for this window when it comes to centre mid. With Amrabat and now Bentancur, we're clearly looking for a very specific profile of central midfield. And also the fact that he's willing to discard the Celso and Ndombele. And for the likes of Højbjerg, Winks and Skip, it's very much he likes dependable central midfielders who can be tactically do what he says, and from a passing point, they don't have to be the best passers in the world, but as long as they can be good enough passers for his system. And clearly that's what he's going for. So if that's what Conte wants, then when we talk about backing Conte, that's the type of player he wants. I think it's clear for now. So I don't know more than Conte, so I'm not going to start complaining about he's not creative, he's a different kind of player, he's too similar to what we have. That's clearly what he's wanted. That's clearly what he wants to bring through the door. So it's Paratici's job to get a player like that through the door. So fair play on getting that player, I'm going to say.
Yeah, and when you're talking about Bentancur and Amrabat, there's clear levels between those two players, that's for sure. So I'm obviously very happy that Bentancur is coming through the door instead of Safi and Amrabat. The way I look at it, the way I've been reading about him, it seems as though he could potentially play that kind of deep-sitting, deep-lying kind of player that Winks plays, that Winks has been playing in the last few games, where Skip and Højbjerg have been sitting in front of Winks, and Winks has been there trying to sort of orchestrate things from behind. So I think that Bentancur could play that kind of role for Spurs. But again, I haven't seen too much of him play, so it's hard for me to comment too much. I've just read articles and stuff like that on him. But it is worth saying that he was very central to that Juventus team that last won the league.
Yeah, and again, it seems like Juventus fans we'll speak to one in a moment, which we'll get on. But it doesn't seem like they're too bothered about him and going again. It's similar to Kulusevski, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see why that is. But when it comes to the type of player he's very experienced international as well. He's 24 years of age. So he's not the youngest player, but
it's good age, 24.
But you got to think as well. What was I going to say? You look at Liverpool and how their central midfielders are. Obviously, they have Thiago, but the other centre mids they have, you wouldn't say are the most creative passers, are they? But what they do is they're very dependable, very intense pressures on the ball, and they're very workmanlike, all of them. So
we're not going to have creativity through the middle, though. We need another right wing back.
Oh, that's for sure, and that's the biggest key. But we'll get into that in a second. We're talking about central midfield options. If the job of them is not to be creative and just win the ball back and get the ball very quickly to the wing backs and the creative players in the front three, then Bentancur can probably do that job, I think. And I think he's a player that Conte can develop as well a bit in terms of maybe get more out of him than he's performing right now. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the ball. He doesn't drive the ball forward or get the ball into the final third as much as other players might do in the central midfield position. But he's pretty good at what he's good at, which is winning the ball back, and he's pretty good at keeping possession and ball retention. So I'm not going to say he's a player to like. He's going to get you off your seat and be very excited about, but he's definitely a player who Conte can depend on, and he's definitely a player who Conte can rely on to be an extra midfielder and not be a liability, and be in a part of a solid team.
Do you think he's an upgrade on what we have?
Potentially, yeah.
Because
I think
what I'm reading,
potentially, yeah.
it seems as though he will be, or he can be.
I reckon it's hard to say because you know Premier League and everything. I would say probably he's ahead of Skip Winks right now. I would say in terms of him versus Skip, obviously he's got a lot bit more experience than Skip, so he's probably ahead in that aspect in terms of the know-how of the game. But in terms of ability, I think Skip might be ahead. It's very difficult. But in terms of Højbjerg, I think Højbjerg is probably a better player than him right now. I would say.
All right. Well, that is Rodrigo Bentancur. He is joining Spurs as well, double signing.